Man, we're going to do something tonight we haven't done in a while.
Be good. Entertain someone. Have a good time. How long can I go with this?
The Rees Company.
By the way, like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the algorithm.
All right. People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. And we've got entirely too many troublemakers here. Too many 40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry. It's going to change. Be nice.
That ain't working.
I want you to be nice.
That ain't working.
And you'll both be nice.
So much as my wife was a giant, but
I want you to be nice until it's time to not be nice.
no, I'm pretty sure that's the way you do it.
The Rees Company.
Crack open a tepid Genesee and watch the pictures as they travel through your neighbor's Wi-Fi. It's the Rees Company. And I'm Steve Rees, the bull of American broadcasting, alongside the great Chris Morganti. How are you, Chris?
I'm good. It's been a while, hasn't it?
It's been a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot has gone on.
I wouldn't say that. Not in my life. You had a bit of a health scare, but...
Yeah, I had let's call it a health scare, yeah.
Good to see you're feeling better.
I spent some time in the hospital.
Yeah.
Like a couple days.
Yeah.
Severe asthma. But here's what they did. They gave me everything that they did for me at the hospital. I now own. So it's like losing. It's like coming in third on a game show and they give you the crappy home version.
Right.
But you can still reenact your time on the show.
Yeah. Well, it's
in a more comfortable setting.
If the home version could save your life, that's what you have.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm grateful for that. So, man, we're going to do something tonight we haven't done in a while.
Be good. Entertain someone.
Have
a good time. How long can I go with this?
As long as you can. We have 9 minutes of video to watch. Okay. So if we can stretch this as far as possible, I'm all for it. So we have, shall we say, a curiosity.
Okay.
A fascination, if you will.
Well, our last show was watching polka.
Yeah, Polka Connection with John
Curiosity
Stevens and Carl Simchina, and the Polka Family Band were the featured guests. And we learned a lot about them and about the polka culture and in general. But this week we're going back to someone we've discussed a few times before. Yeah. A handful of times.
Right.
Some might say several times before.
Okay.
His name is Ralph Williams.
I feel like you're writing an essay in high school.
And I'm padding it out with too many words? Okay. Well, in that case, Chris, do you want to tell the folks how we came upon Ralph Williams to begin with?
Well, I saw him in a video where he was being prank phone called.
Yeah, back in the 90s.
Well, no, I saw it recently. Yeah, he was all right. It was a compilation of prank phone calls to different cable, what is it? Cable access shows.
Yeah,
back in the 90s, and he caught my eye because he was, well, I don't know.
He had a lot of character.
Yeah, he had a lot of character.
He behaved strangely. He seemed flustered,
and the calls were legitimately funny. A lot of prank calls aren't, but these, well, they all had one theme, and it was funny.
Well, yeah, Ralph is he's a big guy.
He's a big guy.
Yeah.
And apparently has been for a long time.
Yep. So we were curious, and we kind of we did a little research and found out that Ralph is still at it.
Yeah.
Still at the public access game. He does that on PCTV, Pittsburgh Community Television. Mm-hmm. But he also has a YouTube channel where he hosts several shows. He has One-on-One with Ralph Williams, Sports Corner with Ralph Williams and Smokin' Jim Frazier.
You know, Here's the thing about a YouTube show, though, Steve.
Yeah.
Any incompetent idiot can gather his friend together and sit at a table and blather on about freaking nothing. And they just put it on YouTube. I mean, that's not qualifying yourself to do anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, he does another one called Talking Wrestling.
Great. You know,
also
I
with
love
Smoking
wrestling.
Jim Frazier. And our favorite, The Way I See It with Ralph Williams.
Right.
Now, these are all YouTube shows. He does a TV version of The Way I See It on public access. He's a guy who has many complaints.
Yes. Most of them are customer service related.
Yes.
Like he's unhappy with the service he received as a customer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And most of those happen at eating establishments.
Yeah. And also, he presents himself as the victim, where in his own telling, he's clearly the problem in the situation.
Yeah. Any objective observer would think he's the problem and not the restaurant in question.
Yeah. And as he likes to point out, he's a disabled man in a mobility scooter. He's the kind of guy you would root for if he just wasn't so unlikable.
Yes. He should be an underdog, but you root against him regardless.
And he calls himself Pittsburgh's forgotten son.
Right.
And that is because he feels shunned by Pittsburgh media. They won't include him in their coterie, in their cotillion.
Oh.
They won't allow him to become... He's kept out of the gate.
Okay.
Because of politics and the old boys club.
You really are writing a high school essay right now. You just... What's a larger word I can look up in the thesaurus?
You know what, Chris? You could have not brought that up and helped me out with this, but we're doing it this way. Fine. I'll say fewer words, and we'll be out of here early.
Well, it's not fewer words, but what was that word you used? Is this part of your vocabulary? Or is
what word are you looking for?
Here.
No, these are notes. This is not a script.
The whatever word you just used. That
okay. It doesn't matter, Chris, because he calls himself Pittsburgh's forgotten son because he's been cordoned off in a way. They will not let him participate in their reindeer games
because they're not interested in him.
They're not interested in him because he uses horrible grammar. He has no sense of show.
Media. Remember the Chris Farley bit? The guy. I'm not what you call media savvy. I don't. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Right. Yeah. Sure.
All right. It's a great bit.
Well, for a change,
it's one of Chris Farley's defining bits on SNL.
For a change,
you really not know what I'm talking about?
I'm. My mind draws. I've had a difficult week, Chris.
Is it possible for us to play that, Jim? A Chris Farley bit from Saturday Night Live? Now, let's stick it out at the end of the episode.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah. It's hilarious.
Well, here's the good news. Good news for Ralph. At last, he has some fantastic news.
Oh.
He is no longer Pittsburgh's forgotten son, Chris.
Uh-oh.
One of his programs is about to make a major move. Let's hear him discuss it.
Program and the soon-to-be radio show June 20th. In case some of you are not aware, June 20th, Tuesday, 5 to 6 p.m., Smoking Jim Frazier and I, we do our Sports Corner show and our Talking Wrestling show on Wednesday. Well, the Sports Corner show that's on Tuesday night at 8:30 is being moved to radio. Every Tuesday night, 5 to 6 p.m., Beaver County Radio. 99.3 FM, 99.7 FM. AM 1230 and AM 1460.
Okay, pause. Great news, Chris, huh?
Yeah. Now, we've discussed his semi-time co-host there, Smoking
Jim Frazier.
Smoking Jim Frazier. We've discussed him before. What is his deal? He's kind of a misogynist, is he not?
Well, by today's standards, one might describe him that way.
Yeah, like mildly. Like he's just kind of like...
Well, we did show a clip of him interviewing a gal who he referred to as calendar model.
Yeah.
Throughout the interview. He clearly did not know her name.
She had a name.
Yeah.
But he just didn't use it.
All he talked about was how pretty beautiful she was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And kept referring to her as calendar model.
And she really had nothing to contribute to any talk show.
She didn't seem to even understand why she was there.
Right. Right. So, yeah, that's his co-host on the show.
Smoking Jim Frazier. Now, this sounds like great news for Ralph.
Yeah. I don't understand the sports talk radio genre.
It's not a very good genre.
It seems like it should not be anywhere near as popular as it is. I think where we live in Philadelphia, is it not the biggest station in the market?
It is very much so, yeah.
and I guess the morning show had some well-known people, some nationally known personalities, at least. You could say that about Al Morganti and Keith Jones, right? They were national broadcasters, at least. But the rest of it, like, who's calling at 1:00 in the afternoon in May to talk about football? And yet that's what goes on there.
Yes. The issue is there doesn't seem to be any separation. The callers sound like the listener. The callers sound like the hosts. There's no professionalism.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's the case, but I don't get what the entertainment.
Oh, all the hosts sound like they're choking on their tongues. They're not professional broadcasters. They're a bunch of people who failed at being athletes.
Okay.
And that's their only way to get around athletes.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I don't know how they didn't fail at being broadcasters.
Well, from what you're saying, Ralph Williams is perfect for this then.
Ralph Williams is better spoken than most major market sports talk radio hosts, in my opinion.
All right.
Well, I was skeptical. He's moving Sports Corner to Beaver County Radio. Now, I was skeptical of that, Chris, because I thought this sounds like one of those deals, like a station where there might be hosts who talk about real estate, and it turns out they just buy the time to promote their real estate business.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Or an investment broker might buy some time on the station, do a show about investments, but it's really about promoting his brokerage.
Yeah.
That's not the case at all, Chris. This is a legitimate series of radio stations owned by a health network. We'll overlook that. But
what?
There are some legitimately nationally known personalities who have been on this station. Steelers games are carried on these stations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's exactly what we were just talking about in the Philadelphia market. It's the local sports station.
Well, sports and politics.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Okay. So they have he's dead, not Rush Limbaugh anymore. Who's the new guy now?
I think, when he was on radio, I think, we have Mike Gallagher, Hugh Hewitt. At one point, I believe Glenn Beck was aired on this station.
Right, that's the other guy I've heard of. Hugh Hewitt? That's one of the big political talk names?
Yeah, from 3 to 6 a.m. He's the overnight guy. He's doing
3 to 6 a.m.
Now, political talk, it might be conspiracy talk. He's in that Art Bell hole.
I've never heard of any of these guys.
Well, anyway,
it used to be guys. Who's the other guy? Sean Hannity.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Used to be guys you'd heard of.
Oh, look, Fox Across America.
No,
This is the
right wing. It's a right wing station.
That's
well, no, that's weird. I don't know if Jim's on mic, but he just said it's all right wing.
Well, yeah, that's talk radio now. That's Issues radio tends to be right wing.
But if the rest of your broadcast is sports talk,
okay, no sports talk. I may have been mistaken, but Steelers games are carried on this station.
Well, then there must be other sports
this
talk
network
shows.
Of stations.
There's no way it's sports talk or Steelers games and Ralph Williams, and that's the only sports programming. There's no way. Probably on the AM.
Okay, you're saying he's probably on the AM and brokered. But by his telling, which we may hear, he's going to be carried on all of these stations.
So this is the AM lineup, the FM lineup that we're looking at.
I don't know. Go to the top, Jim. We're boring.
If only we had more time
pants
to
off of everybody.
We could have done all this research beforehand.
Yeah, there are 2 AM signals, 2 FM signals. Okay, so and I believe they're all repeaters.
Okay.
Okay, well, anyway, great news for Ralph. No?
It seems to be a network of stations that he's going to be a part of.
Yeah. It's exciting news for him.
Would you characterize anything he says as right-wing?
But not all these shows are right-wing, and not all these...
No, it's a legitimate question, Steve. I'm saying he is like a talk radio guy.
Yeah, but if they carry Steelers games, there's at least an element of sports talk to their programming.
No, but the way I see it is not sports talk. It's general talk. And I wouldn't say he's right-wing. His opinions tend to be so self-centered that it's almost difficult to characterize.
I don't think, but I think he's like most people. He doesn't necessarily have a political lean. He doesn't have an agenda. It's more about just getting through life.
Yeah. Yeah.
But of course, they're not interested in putting The Way I See It on these airwaves. They're putting Sports Corner
Jim,
on the airwaves.
Are you on mic? Jim, are you on
the
mic?
time slot Ralph is in, you're saying? I don't know. I think it's evenings, one night a week.
6 to 9 p.m. is the Officer Tatum show. That guy's a right wing, and at 9 to midnight is Charlie Kirk, who's absolutely.
Okay, so there are right wing hosts on this channel. This is not a judgment of anything Ralph is doing.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Now, do we know when he yells like that? Is that getting on mic?
I don't think everything. No, it's not.
All right.
It's not. Okay.
Yeah.
No, we appreciate your input, Jim. No.
Or you could either keep your mouth shut, as you just said, or hook up a microphone.
Turn on a mic, and Bob's your
Be
uncle.
a part of this conversation.
Well, this seems like at last a validation for the hapless Ralph.
Okay. Yeah. Let's get back to his stuff instead of ours.
Well, wait, hold on. I want to ask you something.
Okay.
Chris, do you think he's best pleased or not best pleased about something related to this?
Well, I think he'd be over the moon at this news that he's going to be. Well, Jim said it was brokered, which I assume means he's footing the bill for this.
Okay.
And then trying to flip it for some money for himself, right? Am I right about that?
That's what I get. That's what I get from that.
Jim won't answer.
Jim is being spiteful. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I assume. Yeah.
Okay.
I assume that's what it meant, right?
Okay.
But you don't know that for certain.
So Chris, in those efforts,
regardless, Steve, whether it's brokered or whether he got hired, by the station, it's still good news. He's going to be heard by more people potentially.
Okay, so I ask again, do you think he's pleased?
I think he'd be over the moon about this news.
You don't think he might be not best pleased about some aspect of this?
Well, what would he have to be upset about?
Do you think there might be a food-related aspect that Ralph might be displeased with?
So you're saying you think he sent them a rider with all his food demands on it?
Do you think, Chris, that accusations may be made and a boycott may be called for?
Oh, no.
Do you think Ralph might overreact to someone doing something completely reasonable?
It's happened before.
Let's continue.
I want to go talk to Permani Brothers about becoming a sponsor for my program.
Wait, pause. I'm sorry. What just happened?
He went to talk to Permani Brothers, the bar and restaurant chain.
Okay. See, I don't know. That's a Pittsburgh thing, I guess. I've never heard of it.
Well, they're in several states.
Okay. I thought he said the Manning Brothers. I said, wait, that's your opening move for a sponsor?
Oh, no, we have to be
Peyton
clear.
Manning,
No, we should be clear about this, and you'll see why later on. It's Permani Brothers.
Okay.
So I get this email back from their marketing person. I'm not going to mention the person's name. All right. They wanted to look at analytics of the station.
Pause. Yeah, perfectly reasonable, right?
I would think is how that is done.
That's the way it's done, especially today.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get hard numbers on listenership, especially with the online stuff,
I'm very interested to see where this goes.
Okay, all right.
Because where I think it's going probably is not what's going to happen, but okay.
Right. Well, let's continue.
Now, my advertising rates, everyone, are very affordable.
You're kidding.
So a small business like Harry's Market could advertise with me at a minimal cost. Okay? But Permani's doesn't see it that way. Permani's is worried about analytics. They're worried about this, that, and whatever. And I told the guy 4 times that my show wasn't starting until June 20th.
Okay, pause. Yeah, show isn't starting until June 20th.
Right.
But they probably still want to know what for example, the demographics, the key demo of the station.
Well, yeah, but also there would have been a show in his time slot before him. So you could look at, well, what's that show doing right now? And that will give you a baseline. You may do better than that. You may do worse than that. But you'll know about how many people are listening at that point in time, right?
And that's something you would consider to make a sound business decision.
Yeah, you don't want to just blindly shell out whatever he's asking for.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
Okay. I even offered him the opportunity to advertise on these podcasts and my 2 national shows on Blog Talk Radio.
Pause. Yeah, he does. I think Talkin' Wrestling is considered, he considers it a national show because it's on Blog Talk Radio. Now, I know he considers that a national show because he told me this on his YouTube video.
Wait, it's on what?
Blog Talk Radio.
Okay. What, all right, what is that?
It's a streaming, it's like iTunes or however you get podcasts, it's the same. Stitcher, it's the same thing.
Okay.
But he doesn't realize he's talking about this on YouTube, which has a far greater reach.
Yeah, it's all the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all the same. All right. Let's hear some more.
I'm not going to give you what the cost factor is, but let me tell you something right now. It's not that expensive. It's enough that Permane Brothers can make the money back that they would pay me for advertising in one seating in one night at one of their restaurants.
Okay.
One big seating of about 20 people. You could probably, or more.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Or maybe 2 seats.
One seating of 20 people?
Yeah.
Who goes to restaurants like that? Was this the Last Supper? That's not one. Come on. Why would you even think of it like that? Let me say this like 4 or 5 seatings.
Well,
of a normal restaurant patron.
I think he does amend this.
Okay.
Things maybe. Or more than that. You can make the money what you're going to pay me to put your business on these programs. You can make it back in 2 days at Permane's. They wanted analytics. I gave them the number of the GM and the program director over at Beaver County Radio. I guess they spoke to him. They got the analytics they wanted. So then they say, well, we needed to see what the show looks like. So I gave them copies of these.
No. Uh-oh.
And then I told them, 4 times? That the show wasn't
Okay, pause. Okay, so he gave copies of these to the Permane Brothers restaurant chain. And by these, of course, he means links to The Way I See It with Ralph Williams, where Ralph makes a habit of trashing restaurants who don't meet his demands when it comes to things like how long he waits for a table or how much macaroni and cheese he gets. Probably not a smart move, Chris, no?
No.
All right, let's continue.
20th on the radio. At this time, they can't do a partnership with me.
You're kidding.
Let me ask you something. What's so important about why you need to take a look at my show? I am offering you an opportunity not only to make money for yourself, but you're helping me out and you're helping my show out. So what I'm trying to tell you is this, okay? If Permane Brothers is going to be that petty for the millions of dollars that they make in this town, I feel bad for this town. And let me tell you something. If you go out tomorrow, you think about it when you go out to get that Permane sandwich, about what did Permanes do for the small guy like me?
Okay, pause. They're not obligated to do anything for you, Ralph.
Right. Also, you're not a small guy. You're a very large guy. You're so large, you lost the ability to walk and now require a mobility scooter.
Yeah. Now, this is how he keeps this door open.
Yeah. Yeah. If you were another restaurant, you'd be calling up right now, right?
I don't understand the mindset here. Ralph, he clearly does not want to put himself over as a potential advertiser.
Well, I will say,
Pitchman.
The way I was hoping this would go is you brought up how we first found him, and that was people prank calling the sports show. And they would call up and they would start to engage him on whatever the issue of the day was. And then eventually they'd just break in and go, yeah, but you're a fat fuck.
Yeah, it was like a rope-a-dope.
Right. I was hoping that's what this marketing person at this restaurant was doing. So they call and ask for all this analytical information and then waste all this time with him. And then eventually just go, yeah, but I'm not going to spend any money with you because you're a fat fuck. Also, I don't know that his math really added up. Like, he's saying his commercials cost very little, but if you need 20, I don't know if it's fine dining or just a sandwich shop. I was a little bit confused by what he was.
It's basically like an Applebee's.
Okay, so $20 entrees, 20 people. That's $400. I don't know, man. Like, you're not just going to throw. That's for one ad. Like, you're not just going to throw that money around, on somebody you don't have any knowledge of beforehand.
Although I should say much, much better than Applebee's.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
We can guarantee it.
Okay.
Yeah, so Ralph is not doing himself any favors here.
No, this is not the way to lure advertisers to your show by trashing the first person you reached out to. They say no and you trash them.
But he's acting like they owe him something.
No one's going to return your calls at that point.
Right. But he's acting like he's entitled to this advertising money. Well, you make millions of dollars. You can help me get my show started.
Yeah.
Well, Chris.
Yeah. That's not how people operate.
That's not how people operate at all. People don't even share your show.
For free.
Yes. It costs nothing.
They still don't.
Just an outright refusal.
Here's how you get advertisers on your show, Ralph. You pay them. then you'll get some people that are interested.
Yes. All right, let's continue.
Okay? You think about that one time. Has Permane Brothers ever done anything for anybody? Think about that once.
Well, wait a second.
The business that this...
Pause. Yeah, I'm sure people go there, they order a sandwich, and they bring out a sandwich.
Yeah.
Person enjoys the sandwich, and that's all Permane Brothers needs to do for anyone.
Yeah, he's expecting charity.
Yes.
Something he has no right to expect any charity
because
from.
He asked for something.
Yeah.
He feels entitled to it. Well, let's see some more.
Entire region gives Permane Brothers, and this is what they do to me. I've lived in this town my whole life. I've eaten Permane sandwiches since I was little.
Okay, pause. All right. Now he raises a great point. It is possible that he has spent tens of thousands of dollars at this restaurant. And therefore he feels he is owed something. This is a very legitimate point.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I've given them business. I've sent business there. I've said many good things about Permane Brothers. Oh, until just recently, I went down to one on the south side, got a colossal fish sandwich, and it was nasty. Okay. So,
did you mention this in the email, Ralph?
Just go ahead and run your business and function the way you need.
I like to think a colossal fish sandwich is like something in a Popeye cartoon, where it's just a submarine roll with a fish in it, with the tail and the head sticking out either end. That was nasty.
Colossal fish sandwich, by the way, by all accounts, excellent.
Yeah,
excellent.
Function. But if you're going to get that petty over this little bit of money that you got to pay, I hate this. I hate to have to work for you.
Okay, stop. Now, Chris, you've run a business.
Wait, I lost track of what he was saying. Who's being petty?
Permane Brothers.
Why?
They're being petty because he's asking for just a little money.
Okay.
For advertisement that maybe they don't have in their budget, or they don't think it's a worthy expense for what they're going to receive in return.
Okay. I misunderstood because I thought he was accusing them of, after they had this altercation, he then went and ordered a fish sandwich, and they made it nasty. Out of spite, they made him a nasty sandwich.
No.
That's not what he's saying.
That predated the rift between Ralph and Permane Brothers. Let's continue.
I'd hate to be a manager and I need to order soap to clean my restaurant. Oh, we can't afford that. That's too expensive. What, at the dollar store's too expensive? You catch what I'm saying?
No.
I can explain it, Chris.
I'm offering you
He's comparing advertising on his show to buying soap.
He's saying if they're too cheap to advertise on his show, maybe they don't buy the right kind of soap to properly sanitize their establishments.
That almost sounds actionable. If only we knew some lawyers that take on sketchy cases.
All right, let's hear some more insanity.
The deal of a lifetime. And I offered it to Permanis. They don't want it. They want to play games. They're worried about analytics, worried about how many people listen to the radio station. Well,
Yeah,
first
they're
of all,
worried
why
about
don't you
their
put your head
advertising
together and
dollars
figure it
counting
out?
for something.
There's 4 stations.
Yeah. They want to know if anyone's actually going to listen. Like,
Yes,
that matters.
yes. Because ordinarily, Ralph, let's face it, your little YouTube channel, it's me, Chris, and 2 other people who are, and I don't agree with this, but they're making fun of you on behalf of me and Chris.
Yeah. That has been, we have tuned into his show.
Yes, and we have seen, there's been
It's been you and I commenting on the little thing on the side.
commenting, but other folks also.
And then one other guy shows up, and who is his thing? What's his deal?
He just wants to talk about DeMarcus. There have been a few folks doing this.
No, who's the guy that he keeps bringing?
DeMarcus Russell.
Jamarcus Russell.
Jamarcus Russell. There's
L.A. Raiders signing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now he has an interesting story. You looked into it. I was not familiar.
I don't remember, man. That was a while ago.
Apparently, this guy signed with the Raiders. He was drafted by the Raiders. Quarterback?
No. Jim, you know, right?
But he
Yeah, I
decided.
made the mistake of yelling at Jim earlier.
Okay, no, it's fine. Let me recount it as best I recall by your telling, Chris. He signed this huge contract out of college with the Raiders.
Yeah.
And
He
decided.
was a Heisman Trophy winner, I believe.
Okay. Signed a huge contract.
Yeah.
And decided, realized that it's probably best if I just lay low and collect the money.
Yeah, he had no intention of building a professional career for himself.
He wasn't looking at Canton. He wanted to tank, and
Well, he liked hanging out in Vegas, and then partaking in the hookers and the blow and the gambling. So once you have the money to do that, you're not going to football practice.
why even bother? Why get concussions?
Right.
You can live longer to enjoy all of those things.
Yeah. I feel like there was another part of that story, though, that was really funny, but I don't recall.
Yeah, it's always good when someone says there was a really funny thing, but I don't remember it. So
I'm trying to remember.
Okay,
but, but yeah, so it's me and you, and we're trying. Sometimes we're trying to engage him, and sometimes we're trying.
Oh, I'm not trying to engage him at all.
Well, sometimes I try to engage him.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just try to make you laugh.
Yeah, which you do.
And then there's this other guy who'll come in and ask about questions about a guy who played, I think it was 20 years ago, and not for a local team.
Yeah.
2 a.m.
I like that guy.
And they just bought Butler County Radio, or St. Barnabas Broadcasting. You catch what I'm saying? They have many stations all across their network. I'm going to be on Butler County's radio stations too, because they have accumulated them and they're simulcasting everything. Permanis are everywhere. They're in Beaver, they're in Mercer, they're in wherever.
Well, that's everywhere.
As much as I like Permani Brothers, there'll be a cold day, and you know what? Before you get at me to buy another sandwich. And I urge you not to eat ever again at another Permani's. But you'll get these alcoholics that go there and drink and eat their sandwiches and enjoy it all. They're at Heinz Field. They're at.
Yeah, it sounds like my kind of place.
Also, this is the best ad Ralph can do for them. Go to Permani Brothers. I won't be there.
This is, man, I got to think whatever radio station he's about to go work for.
There's going to be a meeting,
If
a
they-
stern talking to.
Yeah, this is not how you deal with anybody.
All right, so let's continue.
Kennywood. They don't need me. They don't need the little guy like me. No. Not at all. A measly little amount of money for some big time advertising. And they acted like it was $1 million that they
Pause. Now, Chris, you've run a business, as I've said. I was trying to ask you this earlier.
Yeah.
There's a certain amount you have for advertising.
Right.
And you expect a certain amount in return.
Yeah. Yeah, If this guy came to me when I had my business, this would be a non-starter. There's no way I would ever. No, it's not a good proposal.
Right.
You have to offer something that somebody would be interested in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he thinks that it should be done just for the sake of doing it.
This is how he is about everything, though. He just feels like
Entitled.
everyone should see everything his way, regardless of how ludicrous it is. You know,
His show should be called The Way You Should See It.
yeah, that's a great point. Yes.
Okay, let's see some more.
And they ran me through all these hoops and all this other stuff to finally come up with the conclusion. After 4 times, I told them that the radio show's not going on until June 20th. They want to see something of the radio show. It's going to be professional. I sent you these shows right here. What's the problem?
Pause it. So, Steve, it sounds like they may have actually been interested in, like,
They at least vetted him.
right. So maybe like a month, he does a month of shows. Then he comes back to him and he says, "Hey, here's what you requested. Here's me doing a professional version of this podcast that I did before." You know, he could have probably worked this into an actual sponsorship, but he burned the bridge. Fucking day one, he's burning the bridge.
How much of this was him hoping that he would have like a lifetime comp at Permane Brothers?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
I think that's, he doesn't say that, but I think that's really what this is.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see some more.
For that little measly amount of money. This is what I had to go through. So I wasn't planning on doing this tonight, but I had to. Because you want to know what Permane's did to me today? They ruined my day. They ruined it. Earlier today, I was in a bad mood. And one time I was in front I went to judgment.
I want to skip to 114, Jim. Chris?
Wait, what? What are you talking about?
He was in a bad mood. No, he goes on a tangent about his stepson being in court and the judge saying, "Oh, you're lucky I'm in a good mood, so you're only going to get probation or whatever." It means nothing.
What did his stepson do?
That's not clarified. No transgressions are ever clarified.
Yeah. All right.
So let's see where Ralph is now. Skip ahead a bit, and here we go.
All right. So here we are. Permane Brothers decides they want to screw me over and not give me what I asked for, a small fraction of what they pay out.
Stop. They're not screwing you over. They owe you nothing.
Yeah.
All right.
Their stations, a small fraction of what they do here. And that's right, Permane Brothers. I'm bad-mouthing you on this program because you know why? This is my show.
Because he seems to imply that it's such a great deal that they'd be crazy to turn this down. If that were the case, you could just go offer it to somebody else. If it's really that great of a deal, then you wouldn't care that somebody turned it down. There'd be somebody lining up to take it.
I really think, and when do you see these sandwiches, Chris? I really think he just wanted a lifetime comp at Permane Brothers.
Yeah, it's making more and more sense.
Yeah.
Do you believe him when he says he's never going to eat there again? Think he'll be going there in disguise?
He's so dumb. He would just disguise the scooter. He'd put a mustache on the handlebars. All right.
I can do whatever I want. Okay? And if you don't like it, that's too bad because you got what you wanted, nothing.
They don't care.
All right? And I'm not saying I'm going to badmouth everybody that does this, but the way that it was presented to me acted like they were making a big issue over a small amount of money. And maybe that's good. That's good fiscal financial thing. Oh, we can't just waste a little bit of money there. Oh, yeah, that can be good. And when I asked them, I said, look, give me a break here. I'm just trying to get this thing going. They didn't appreciate it. Oh, we can't have a partnership at this time. Maybe in the future.
They didn't care.
We'll renew it again. When? In 5 years? No, I don't have time to wait 5 years. Okay? So when you go next time you go bite into your Permane sandwich, you think about what I said. You think about what Permane's did to me, the little guy that's trying to get something going in broadcasting, that's trying to get his radio show on the radio because
visually, what the hell is going on there?
Can we see a still shot of what's going on camera over here, Jim?
No, it's not that. You'd have to let it run. There's colors flash. It's like he's in a disco. And I apologize. I've been sick for like a couple weeks, and the coughing and the I gotta. Sorry, folks, but look at this. Can we run it on mute for a little while? Like back up and then run it on mute?
Yeah, because we do want to hear some of what he's about to say. But okay,
yeah, that's cool.
There we go.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
Look, okay, bright, dark. Green, red. What's going on?
I don't know what this is.
It's like a disc? He's in a disco,
or there's something on a television or a monitor that's. But
why? Why would
throwing color onto the scene?
This is not. You do realize how much he's not making his case here. He's saying that this sandwich shop is crazy for not advertising with him, and he's doing an insanely unprofessional job. Look at the wall behind him.
Yeah,
it's flashing all different colors.
Yeah.
What's the point of that?
Looks like the back room of a Spencer's Gifts.
Yeah. I mean, it almost looks like strobe light or something. Oh, all right. I think I've made my point.
Okay, let's we only have a little left of this.
This turned out to be, I feel like we've been on the air for an hour now. We thought this was going to be a short show.
Certainly feels that way, yeah.
40 minutes we've been on the air.
All right, well, let's continue.
And I told all the broadcast companies in this town, if you're not going to hire me, then I'll make my own way. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm not expecting it to be a honeymoon because it never is. Life is never a honeymoon. Okay? So remember, next time you go eat a Permane sandwich, think about what I said. If they're that petty about some little dinky little advertising money, I can imagine what they're about in their restaurants.
Here we go.
Okay. Maybe they use food service ketchup instead of Heinz. Maybe they use some kind of cheap cleaning supplies that don't get the place clean. You ever think about that? If they're that cheap, and they make millions and millions of dollars and they're that cheap, just think about that for a minute.
How about this?
Before you go into another Permane's.
Can you pause it?
Tonight?
How about this? Instead of wasting $400 on an advertisement on the Ralph Williams show, they could buy higher quality ketchup and higher quality cleaning products.
Yes.
I'm sure from the Permane brothers' point of view, it's the exact opposite of the situation he's pointing out here.
But to make that leap in logic, to make those accusations, because they won't throw you however many bones you want to do your little sports show.
Yeah. I hope this segment ends with him saying, oh, by the way, if you'd like to advertise with me, call this number. No one's ever going to want. What happens if you advertise with him, right? And then you do like a 2-month deal. And the third month you go, you know what?
This isn't working out.
This isn't working out for us. We're going to go the other way. You know he's just going to trash you. So no one would ever take that risk of getting involved. If they see this, they would never advertise on his show.
Yeah, he's not
shooting himself in the foot is crazy.
He's not a very professional broadcaster.
But he's not even a guy capable of thinking out the consequences of his action.
No. But he's somebody, in my opinion, who has gotten a lot of mileage in life out of being handicapped.
Okay.
And feeling entitled as a result.
Okay.
Because we hear him complain constantly about situations that are not rectified, as he says.
Yeah.
Based on his handicap, where these situations have nothing to do with his misfortune.
You, I'm so tired of these friggin' handicapt people. I can't stand it.
Okay. Well, nobody's saying that, Chris.
No.
All right. So that's what Ralph Williams is dealing with as he prepares to take Sports Corner to the public airwaves.
That's the way he sees it.
Yep. Anyway, Chris, let's take a moment for this word from we need a pause.
Okay.
for a word from our sponsor.
Forged like steel in the hours after midnight and passed from father to son, friend to friend, and sister to sister. To hold an almost famous Primanti Brothers sandwich in your hand is to hold history.
Our sandwich are known for coastline fries.
It may have started in 1933 during the Great Depression, but with more than 40 restaurants in 6 states and an ever-expanding footprint, Primanti Brothers is recognized all over the world as having the best sandwiches ever made. And with their experience earning them a James Beard Award, Primanti Brothers knows exactly how to do it and doesn't need your help. And while they may have some attitude, Primanti Brothers people are what's pushed it forward. World-class bartenders, the best cooks in any kitchen, servers dedicated to carrying on tradition. The Primanti Brothers experience isn't just sandwiches. It's people. It's tradition. It's innovation. Primanti Brothers, almost famous since 1933.
Yeah, thanks so much from Primanti Brothers for sponsoring the program. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
What's odd is they came to us.
Yeah. And they gave us these cards where we can get a free sandwich whenever we want.
Right. And they could have had us, not just the cards, but they gave us much more. And quite frankly, they could have had us for a lot less, Chris.
Yeah. Although I do have a bone to pick with them. They told me that I could be in a commercial. And then I said, well, okay, like you just got to pay for me to drive out there, And they said, no, we can't do that. And I said, for that little bit amount of money, that's what you do. This is how you do. Imagine the other corners you're cutting if you won't pay my tolls to drive out there.
You probably have slime in the ice machine. With that kind of attitude, well, of course, Primanti Brothers does not. We appreciate them coming on board and making this show possible. If you appreciate what we do, like, share, subscribe, but also patronize Primanti Brothers.
All right. Are we done with that? Because before we end the show, I want to do something.
Yeah.
All right. Because this is weird now. We've been getting along with Jim great since... How long have we been doing this? 2 years now?
Yeah. Two years.
The first few months were a little bit rocky.
Yeah.
But everything's been going great, and now I feel like I pissed him off tonight.
No. I don't think that's the case at all. I didn't get that vibe, and Jim is saying no, so everything's fine.
All right, Jim's saying no.
Everything's fine. No,
I'm saying no.
Yeah, I didn't get that vibe at all from Jim. I think everything's...
I'm about to cough up a lung, so
okay,
it probably is time to end the show.
Please don't. Okay, well, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Join us next time. Tell your friends. For... Chris Morgani, for Ralph Williams, and for Primanti Brothers, I'm Steve Rees. Oskiwiwi.
Oskiwawa.
What am I going to know?
Tigers.
Eat 'em raw. We did it.